Hello dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Buzruk. I will be discussing auditing. Go to study note number 7, provision relating to audit under Companies Act. I will be discussing about removal, resignation of auditor and removal by giving special notice which is given under section 140 of Companies Act 2013. Subsection 1 of section 140. The auditor appointed under section 139 may be removed from his office before the expiry of his term only by special resolution of the company after obtaining previous approval of central government in that behalf in the manner prescribed in Rule 7 of Chapter 10 under the Act, provided that before taking any action under this subsection, the auditor concerned shall be given reasonable opportunity of being heard. So, as per subsection 1 of section 140, auditor who is appointed under section 139 can be removed from his office before expiry of his term, but which needs special resolution and needs approval of central government, and he should be given a chance to express his views, and for this rule of 7 of chapter 10 is to be followed. Now we'll see what is this rule 7. Removal of auditor before expiry of his term. Rule 7. The application to the central government for removal of auditor shall be made in form ADT 2. Approval of central government is to be made for removal of auditor before expiry of his term, and this application is to be in the form ADT 2. Remember this, very important, and shall be accompanied with fees as provided for this purpose under the company's registration offices and fees rules 2014. The application shall be made to the central government within 30 days of resolution passed by the board. The company shall hold the general meeting within 60 days of receipt of approval of the central government for passing the special resolution. Now we'll see subsection 2 of section 140. The auditor who has resigned from the company shall file within a period of 30 days from the date of resignation a statement in the prescribed form with the company and the registrar, and in case of companies referred to in subsection 5 of section 139, this is government company, the auditor shall also file such statement with Controller and Auditor General of India indicating the reason and other facts as may be relevant with regard to his resignation. So, as per subsection 2, if the auditor has resigned, he shall file a statement in prescribed form with company and registrar, and if it is a government company, with CAG, a statement in prescribed form within 30 days of his resignation, which the statement should indicate the reasons and fact regarding why he has resigned. Subsection 3 of section 140. If the auditor does not comply with the provision of subsection 2, that means if he does not file a statement within 30 days of his resignation to the company or government or CAG as the case may be, he or it, that means if it is a firm, shall be liable to a penalty of 50,000 rupees or an amount equal to remuneration of auditor, whichever is less. What is the penalty? 50,000 or remuneration which is less. And in case of continuing failure, with further penalty of 500 rupees for each day after the first day during which such failure continues, subject to a maximum of 5 lakhs rupees. Maximum penalty is 5 lakhs. Subsection 4 of section 140. First, in this, special notice shall be required for a resolution at an annual general meeting appointing an auditor, a person other than retiring auditor, or providing expressly that a retiring auditor shall not be reappointed except where the retiring auditor has completed a consecutive tenure of 5 years, or as the case may be 10 years, as provided under subsection 2 of section 139. So in short, if a resolution is proposed to be passed in the general meeting for appointing a person other than retiring auditor, or a resolution is to be passed which expressly states that retiring auditor shall not be reappointed, a special notice is required for this resolution. So members are supposed to give special notice for passing this resolution. But if the auditor is retiring after completing consecutive tenure of 5 or 10 years, then in that case, this is not required. On receipt of notice of such resolution, the company shall forthwith send a copy thereof to retiring auditor. Once company receives the notice of resolution, it sends copy of resolution to retiring auditor. Now subsection 4, third point in this, where a notice is given of such resolution and the retiring auditor makes with respect thereto representation in writing to the company not exceeding a reasonable length and request its notification to members of the company shall, unless the representation is received by it too late for it to do so, in any notice of resolution given to members of the company, state the fact of representation having been made and send a copy of representation to every member of the company to whom notice of the meeting is sent, whether before or after the receipt of representation by the company, and if a copy of the representation is not sent as aforesaid because it was received too late or because of the company's default, the auditor may, without prejudice to his right to be heard orally, require that the representation shall be read out at the meeting. So, as per subsection 4, third point, what is given here is the auditor should be, as per point 2, auditor should be given notice. Once he gets the notice, he makes representation in writing to the company and he requests the company that it is to be notified, that it is to be informed to the members, and the company can, along with the notice of resolution which company is giving to the members, in that notice company can state the fact that auditor has made representation, or they can send a copy of representation also to the members along with this notice. But if it has not been sent because it was received too late or because of company's default, then the representation can be read out at the meeting, provided that if copy of representation is not sent as aforesaid, a copy thereof shall be filed with the registrar. It is necessary to file this copy with registrar, provided further that if the tribunal is court is satisfied on an application either of the company or of any other aggrieved person that the rights conferred by this subsection are being abused by the auditor, then the copy of the representation may not be sent and the representation need not be read out at the meeting. If the court is satisfied by the application made either by company or any aggrieved person that the auditor has abused rights given to him, then in that case, that means he has misused the rights given to him. Then in that case, the copy of representation need not be sent to the members, that is shareholders, and representation need not be read out at the meeting. Subsection 5 of section 140, without prejudice to any action under the provisions of this act or any other law for the time being in force, the tribunal either suo motu, that is on its own, court on its own, or on application made to it by central government or by any person concerned, if it is satisfied that the auditor of a company has, whether directly or indirectly, acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted or colluded in any fraud by or in relation to the company or its directors or officers, it may by order direct the company to change its auditors. Now, if the court by itself or by application made by some central government or some person is satisfied that the auditor has acted directly or indirectly in the fraudulent manner, then in that case, the tribunal, that is court, will ask the company, direct the company, will give the order to the company to change the auditors. Provided that if application is made by central government and the tribunal is satisfied that any change of auditor is required, it shall within 15 days of receipt of such application make an order that he shall not function as an auditor, and central government may appoint another auditor in his place. Now, if this application is made by central government and tribunal court feels that auditor needs to be changed, then within 15 days of receipt of application from central government, the court will order that the same person shall not function as auditor and the central government has to appoint new auditor in his place. Provided further that an auditor, whether individual or firm, against whom final order has been passed by the tribunal under this section, shall not be eligible to be appointed as an auditor of any company for a period of 5 years from the date of passing the order, and the auditor shall also be liable for action under section 447. So if the order has been passed by court against the auditor, then in that case he cannot be appointed as auditor in any company for 5 years. And again he is liable for action under section 447. Explanation 1. It is hereby clarified that in case of a firm, the liability shall be of the firm and that of every partner or partners who acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted or colluded in any fraud by or in relation to the company or to its directors or officers. Explanation 2. For the purpose of this chapter, the word auditor includes a firm of auditors. Now we'll see summary at glance. Removal by special resolution of the company and after obtaining previous approval of central government, the auditor appointed under section 139 may be removed from his office before expiry of his term. Resignation. The auditor shall file within 30 days from the date of resignation a statement in prescribed form with company and the registrar. In case of government company, the auditor shall send such statement with CAG indicating reason and fact with regards to his resignation. If he fails to comply with subsection 2, he is punishable with fine not less than 50,000 but which may extend to 5 lakhs. Special notice. A special notice for a resolution at an annual general meeting for appointment of auditor other than a retiring auditor is required. On receipt of notice of such resolution, the company shall forthwith send a copy thereof to retiring auditor. Where notice is given of such resolution and the retiring auditor makes with respect thereto representation in writing to the company and request its notification to members of the company shall, unless the representation is received by it too late for it to do so, in any notice of the resolution given to members of the company, state the fact of the representation having been made and sent a copy of representation to every member of the company to whom notice of the meeting is sent, whether before or after receipt of representation by the company. If a copy of representation is not sent as aforesaid because it was received too late or because of the company's default, The auditor may require that the representation shall be read out at the meeting. In this particular video, we have seen what are the provisions of Section 140 of Companies Act, removal of auditor, resignation of auditor, and removal of auditor by giving a special notice. Thank you.